صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد. Um, Brothers, we are now going to start the exercise program. So if you would very kindly take your seats in the front. Thank you. You will have to speak in the mic when you do exercise.
Salawat. We are starting our exercise as usual, and this time it will be a bit longer one than before because I've been given 15 minutes. So we'll do slowly, and I expect at the back, please come forward, and we need quiet there. Salawat. We start with our exercise by standing, or if you want, you can sit as you like, and do it as you can do it. Don't expect, see how much you can do it. No force, and see your body how much it can take. Because I may, I may go for others who can do it, and others who can't do it. For example, if I do it like this, it is for those who can go up to there. If I go very down here,
Brothers, the program is started. Can you please quiet and come forward? Thank you.
Salawat. It is very difficult. Okay, we are starting now. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your hands just loosen so the blood flows in it. And it helps to reduce the arthritis now or in future. Now, look at my fingers and you will see, and make it very tight. We are taught this thing also on Tuesday. Okay, I will speak a bit louder. Thank you very much for pointing it out. Tight. The last finger. Now, look at the fingers. You press to your thumb one by one. The finger should press the thumb one by one. At the moment, I'm awakening our body because slowly we will go like that. don't need to go up to down. You can do halfway as we are going. Those who can do it, please you can do it. Those who can do it, go right down. You can do up to here, or you can do right going and touching the feet. Now we are doing breathing exercise. There's a style which Murtada Bandali does 4-7-8. So this is the way. Breathe in. Keep the breathing for 7. Now we are just the neck exercise. Slowly. Now I'm going further up, but make sure that your eyeballs rotates as well. I think the time is flying, so I have to do it fast a bit. Okay, we try with the hands now. The stomach, press it down inside 5 times, because this is the place we need a little bit more help. I'm only doing 2 to start with. Reverse. Left hand. I don't know anybody can, I don't think anybody can do it, but hold it if somebody can do it. We are doing all the time. The last one I'll take on more minutes. Get the sensitive part of our body to be activated. Thank you.
Thank you, Basbai, for those keep fit exercise. Now I wish to welcome Al-Hajj Musaddiq Ladakh for the Quran recitation. Thank you.
السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم بالله أو تخفوه يحاسبكم بالله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسوله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسول وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. صدق الله العلي العظيم. I'm not going to translate these two passages of the Surah Baqarah towards the end, or do the tafsir on this. I just want to reflect. It is said that there has not been one Qari throughout the ages who has not recited these two passages, these two verses of the Holy Quran. As you know that there are 10 different tunes, if you were to say that, makharij, in recitation of the Quran, and the Qaris who are trained maybe from a very young age or who are gifted in recitation of the Quran, they love to recite these two passages, these two verses, because every itqam, every style, every pronunciation that one can come across in the Holy Quran is covered in these two sort of passages. And using any of the tunes that is allowed to be used in the recitation of the Quran, the Qaris love to show their talents in a crowd that appreciates the recitation of the Quran. Now, we've always said that the biggest miracle of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that it's the Quran. And there are a number of levels as to this tradition, as to this belief, which is accepted by all school of thoughts in Islam. One is that the miracle is that the Quran is ever living, ever challenging, and throughout the ages until Qiyamah, one can reflect on it and get different new meanings to whatever the era is. What was in Rasulullah's time, in our Imam's time, in our time, in the time to come, if we were to look at the Quran, the instructions, it is as if it is alive because it is directing us, number one. And number two, this is what is I want to just reflect on, is that a person who has that ability to portray the Quran in its beautiful form, the recitation. So, if you were to go and recite the Quran on the streets, in a hall, to anybody, it moves people, be they are Muslims or non-Muslims. Nowadays we see people reciting Quran at different venues, and there's a pin drop silence. Why? Because the miracle of the Quran is that it touches your heart. And I've been told, and this is true, that a person who doesn't know an iota of Arabic, but somehow when a Qari recites the verses of the Quran, miraculously the person who listens to it comes to understand the meaning or the message or the beauty of the Quran, even just as the beauty of the recitation of that. Somebody sent me a clip a very few weeks, months ago, that at Britain Has Got Talent or America Has Got Talent, that this young person came up and recited the Quran. And there were tears in the eyes of the audience over there, though they were non-Muslims. This is our beauty of the Quran. With that thought, let us pray that we have the opportunity to recite the Quran as much as we can. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Asant Al-Haj Musaddiq Bhai for this beautiful recitation and the tafsir, which is very useful. Alhamdulillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. وفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. I entrust my affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily He looks after His servants. My elders and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. प्रथम तो हूँ रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम रहमतुन लिल आलमीन ने हदीस थी शुरू करूँ चूँ Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him and his progeny, said, the best of those amongst you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it to others. Be bol ek bano, ane nek bano. Before I give to the main lecture, I wish to make a few announcements. Please switch your mobiles on silent, and please keep your belongings with you all the time. Please cut waste, cut costs, and save the planet. At the last seniors EC meeting, it was resolved unanimously to levy a charge of £1 for the use of the Jamaat cutlery each time. The guests and visitors are exempted. This will take effect from the 1st of November 2024, slightly over a month from now. So please, I request all of you to remember to bring your own cutlery every week. Hassan. Yes. You pay £1. No, but if you bring your cutlery, the cost of the niyaz will be £4. If you don't bring the cutlery, then, as you said quite rightly, £5, because the Jamaat has to provide the cutlery. Understood? Ji. sumptuous lunch, Niyaz, is sponsored by Dr. Nizar Mirali to follow the best practice by his parents in previous years. We are grateful for this and so request Surah Al-Fatiha for Marhum Roshan Ali A. Mirali and Marhuma Fatma Bai R. A. Mirali and all Marhumins. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and grant him tawfiq and barakah. Ameen. Surah Al-Mubarak Al-Fatiha. So anyone wishing to sponsor a full or part niyaz for the sawab of marhumins, please contact any of the committee member. Full niyaz cost is £1,200. We have an outing on Sunday, the 13th of October, going to Peterborough. For the Miladun Nabi program invite the senior citizens of Europe at HIC Peterborough. The program will start at 11 a.m. for both ladies and gents. Please give your name at the desk if you wish to attend. The cost of transport is still being worked out, but I think it would be estimated about 15 to 20 pounds per person. Without further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite our speaker for today, Kakaji, to give us a health talk on cholesterol control and statins with a loud salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, the most beneficent. And all praise is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum, my elders, Mr. Chairman, seniors, and my brothers and sisters if they are listening. So I just want you to imagine first that you are at a dinner party. You know, and all your favorite foods are there. Samosas, bhajiyas, kebabs, creamy cakes, you know, kashata and everything. And you're sitting there piling up the food, and of course things are going good. Until you see somebody coming into the room with an uninvited guest, and that happens to be cholesterol. Now you are taking all this food, but building up cholesterol as well. So you have to be very mindful of what you take. Your body is like a dinner party, and cholesterol, well, is the guest that overstays normally, you know. And the good news is we have got statins that can take care of that. So today's topic is cholesterol, and I wish to go through the few points as to what the cholesterol is, what types of cholesterol exist, and how do we control it. So I think all of you are fully aware of the cholesterol and the statins, because most of us are on cholesterol reducing tablets called the statins, and there are 5 most common statins which are being used, and I'll go through them in a few minutes' time. So today's topic, I will go through, I've made a list somewhere, yeah. I'll go through what is cholesterol, what are statins, and how do we, do we need the statins for a start, and do we have to take statins for life, And what if you don't take statins? So we'll go through that very quickly, first of all. So we talk about doctor's orders as well, our high conditions, exercise, and things like that. But main thing about the cholesterol and statins is to know the role of the statins, good versus bad cholesterol, lifestyle adjustments, myths about statins, and the facts, and emphasizing monitoring. And I'll go through some success stories of 3 or 4 people who have actually really benefited, from taking statins earlier on while they had a heart attack, and those people who were on the extreme side. So let's go through the definition first. And so first and foremost, I'm really honored to be here and to be invited to speak to you all. Congratulations to my dear friend Haider for taking over the chairmanship, and of course, our grateful thanks to our predecessor, Sultan Bhai. So cholesterol and medications commonly used to manage it are statins. So understanding cholesterol. Cholesterol is a fatty substance that our body needs to build and produce certain hormones. Generally speaking, another definition which I found was a little bit intriguing, saying that cholesterol is a fatty substance, is naturally produced by our liver, and everyone has it because to stay healthy. And every cell in the body needs the cholesterol. So how is cholesterol transported in our bodies? It is through things called proteins, the building blocks in our body. Where the cholesterol proteins are combined, they are called lipoproteins. Now I'm just giving you some definitions or some words just so that my talk will reflect that. So it's not, lipo is to do with fat, and proteins, as you know, something that builds you up. So there are 2 main types of cholesterol. LDL cholesterol. Anybody? LDL? LDL is low density cholesterol, yeah? So this is the baddie, is the bad guy, yeah? These high levels of LDL can lead to build-up in fatty deposits in your blood streams, okay, in arteries, and it's like a pipe in the home, yeah? When you get this grease clogged up in your pipe, ultimately more grease goes there, and suddenly the water overflows from your sink or wherever the blockage is. And that's exactly what cholesterol does. It deposits in your blood arteries, yeah, clogs it all up, and you got a problem. So that is the bad cholesterol, which is the low density cholesterol. Low density, that means it stays for longer. And the high, then there's another one which is called a good cholesterol, which is the high density cholesterol, because it helps remove the LDL, which is the low density cholesterol, which is the danger, the bad one, from your bloodstream. It acts like a cleansing agent, removing the excess cholesterol and transporting it into the liver, where it is finally broken down and eliminated in the normal natural processes. So why does cholesterol matter? Well, high cholesterol doesn't cause any symptoms on its own, but so many people know that they have got it, but it's not necessarily that they would know that they got high cholesterol until they go for an MOT with the doctor, and you ask for a lipid test with your doctor, and you are entitled to it. Everybody should go and just to check your bloods on a regular basis. Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you know what a heart attack is? How does the heart attack occur? Anybody? Okay, excellent. Any other? Anybody? Sorry? That's a good one. Yes, that leads to heart attack. What's the definition? Why do you get heart infection or heart attack? Basically, I want to differentiate heart attack with strokes. That's why I want to discuss this question. So heart attack is when, exactly what you said, a blockage occurs in your blood system. So it blocks it, and you get an attack, boom, suddenly, yeah? And you call it myocardial infarction, if you want to take the medical term. And the stroke, what is a stroke? You know, you suddenly lose, what happens? Anybody? What organ will it affect? Brain, excellent. So heart attack is for the blood as such, and the stroke attacks the brain. The moment the brain attacks, within very short time, you can either get paralysis, you can get number of things, you could be, you could, depend what part you get it, you can get, some people get on the face, you can see it, some people can see it in the arms, etc. So this is what happens. And the role here of good lifestyle and diet is most important. So let's just quickly discuss it. So what is a healthy diet? You know, which will lower cholesterol, which will be higher in dietary fiber, like fruits and vegetables, which can help lower the LDL. Your target is to lower the LDL and increase your HDL, basically. Okay? Choose whole grains, whole wheat grain, brown rice, oats. These are good options. Limit the saturated fats as you spread butters and things like that on your bread every morning, things like that. Increase in omega-3 fatty acids. These are very important. Yeah? Regular exercise. And those people who are smokers, quit smoking if you can. And of course, I have to mention this, those on alcohol should limit alcohol. This is a requirement too. So this will include. So we can then now go into statins and to say what are statins, yeah? So doctor usually prescribe statins for a number of reasons. The main reason is for LDL, to lower the LDL, low density cholesterol, basically. If the life changes don't lower the LDL, then you will be prescribed some statins to lower your cholesterol efficiently and effectively. Okay. So what are the benefits of statins that I'll go through in a minute? And what about people with diabetes and cholesterol and lowering of their cholesterol using statins? You know, statins increase the sugar in your body, by the way. Okay. So those people who take, you know, you'll see the sugar level going slightly up, but you go to weigh the two things. And those people with diabetics, they are still given the statins, and the sugar is high anyhow, and they are controlled through the anti-glycemic agents that have been prescribed for. So this is just by the way, okay? But this will prevent the risk of heart attack and heart disease. So statins can reduce LDL by almost up to 50% at a time. It's very important to know that. So you must regularly take statins despite the fact that you may get some side effects. Statins can reduce inflammation in your artery. You know, when you get deposition in your arteries become inflamed. So the statins will reduce the inflammation of artery that facilitates the flow of blood better. And that's very important. Yeah, very important thing. It stabilizes plaques. So in the arteries there are plaques, you know. You can't be just removed by statins very easily. Sometimes they stay there forevermore. But it stabilizes the plaque so that it facilitates the route of the blood that's going through. And because the plaques are static, they are stabilized, you don't get any movements on that. That means it facilitates the blood flow. You know, it's quite simple. Now, there are a number of side effects with the statins. And what is the common side effects of statins? Sorry? Okay. Any other? Very common side effect. Everybody experiences to a certain extent or not. Cramp. Very good. Anybody else? Some. Yeah. So a lot of people experience what we call muscle pain, generally speaking, which can lead to cramps, and what you said as well. But generally, cramp is the biggest thing, and people get it from right at the hillside all the way near the knee there. And sometimes you have to keep on moving your toes you know, and you can't. If you're on a flight sometimes and you suddenly can get a cramp, on statins. Yeah, but this is a common side effect, which is a bearable side effect. Okay, but if it's extremely unbearable, then of course you talk to your doctor and we adjust the statins accordingly. So, you can also improve your muscle pain by regular walking. So once you're walking regularly, you can get it. But having said that, what statins do is they actually stop the protein section there, whereby the blood is clotted as such, there is clotting or cholesterol is accumulated. So you'll find that athletes hate taking statins because they'll suddenly get very high cramps as well on the other side of it. Okay, so you take it within your means, and you'll find that on a regular walking, not too much running around, but regular walking will give you the relief from muscle ache, which is quite regular and quite common. Okay. Statins can slightly, like I said earlier, slightly raise the blood sugar, which might be a concern for diabetics. However, the advantages outweigh that blood level sugar. Normally, those people who got high blood sugar anyway, okay, they adjust the metformin dose or whatever they are taking, or even the insulin dose, to adjust with the increased level of sugar if you get any kind of increase. So that is that. So don't stop taking the statins because of that. But the most important interaction is with antibiotics and antifungal tablets. Yeah, so these are commonly prescribed when you got a chest infection and they give you some clarithromycin. And I'm giving you the name clarithromycin because it's one of those very commonly prescribed for chest infections, etc. Don't take statins with it because it will actually increase the potential of you getting further ill, and it's not going to work, and your statins will be wasted. So that one, and the other one is Sporanox, which is an antifungal one. Yeah, so I'm giving you two examples. There are other things, but we don't need to go into other dates. But these are most commonly prescribed drugs in this country anyway. Now, what do you do if you continuously get these side effects? Of course, you need to adjust the dose. So if you're taking a 40 milligram atorvastatin, you can ask your doctor to reduce it to 20, and then subsequent blood tests will show you what sort of cholesterol levels you've got, and you can take it from there. You can switch to a different statins. Like I said, the 5 common statins, I'll go through the names in a few minutes. You can go through that. Lifestyle changes is exercise and all that, that goes without saying. Okay, there is a health supplement called coenzyme Q10 supplement that really helps because it sort of stops your plasmonol. There's a product called plasmonol which I will go through later on. You don't have to know that, but that helps you to decrease the side effect, as it were. Yeah. And you have to avoid a few things, like total avoidance of taking grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice with statins is a massive problem. Yeah. And there are people who are aged 80 and over. Statins are not highly recommended for them, so you have to see a doctor about it. Yeah, they have to weigh out whether or not they'll give you the statins at your age. And if they do, that's fine because that is under medical care. Yeah. However, the NICE, National Institute of Clinical Excellence, is saying that over 80 have got to be referred by the doctors. Yeah. So, and there's another product called ezetimibe, which is not a statin, but is a statin-like product. It mimics that, and apparently there's a good alternative if you are getting side effects with that. There's also a brand new treatment which has come out to avoid the side effects. It's called bempedoic acid. This is for those people who can't tolerate anything, so they go for that. recently been approved in the UK. It was an American FDA approval. Now MHRA has improved it. You can talk to your doctor about it. Whether or not they prescribe is down to them altogether. Yeah. So, the common statins, any names? Good. Simvastatin. Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. So atorvastatin, very common. Fluvastatin, very common. Pravastatin, rosuvastatin, simvastatin, and lovastatin. There's lovastatin which is hardly used. Main ones that you'll find is simvastatin, rosuvastatin, and atorvastatin. Yeah, and they come in different doses: 10, 20, 40, 80 milligrams in atorvastatin. Same with pravastatin up to 40 milligrams, simvastatin up to 80 milligrams, and rosuvastatin, which is the name was Crestor. Yeah, it's a very good drug, and it also protects the heart. So depends. In your case, if your doctor prescribes it for you, you can discuss it with him. It might be a fantastic alternative. So these, generally speaking, is all about cholesterol and statins. Now, how do we diagnose cholesterol? Yeah. So, how do you do it? You need a blood test to do it, yeah? And they look at 4 things: total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and a new thing called triglycerides. So what are triglycerides? Any of us triglycerides? They are fatty substances in the blood. Okay, they all accumulate and add up to this cholesterol disease. Generally, you are required to fast for at least about 12 hours before the blood test. Once you take your blood test, then you get your results in a few days' time, and I can go through some of the results with you, and which are published results. So it makes a few comparisons between the United States, Canada, and United Kingdom and Europe, generally speaking. So if you are a US citizen like our friend Ali Raza is, or Canadian citizen, then it will be 200 milligram. But in the UK, it is 5.2 millimoles. Millimoles is the millionth of a mole in terms. You don't have to know the calculations, but if you remember, 5.2 millimole is a desirable level of cholesterol in the UK. Okay, 5.2 to 6.2, that is a borderline and going towards high cholesterol level. Above 6.2, yalla, you got a problem. Yeah, you need to see if you can reduce it down. Okay, and the level of cholesterol will fluctuate on taking your cholesterol tablets on a regular basis, your lifestyle. Suddenly you lose a bit of weight and you've taken care of your saturated fats, etc. You'll find that the level will go down, okay, and you adjust your dose accordingly, however. So you can monitor that every time. I think in cases of heart patients, it's normally 6 months test, I think. Is it? So yearly, at least once a year at least, but 6 monthly is what one of our surgeons does. So now what are the LDL, low density cholesterol levels? Yeah. So 1.8 millimoles. I'm giving you some figures. If they can stick in your head, you'll just remember that. Best for people who have coronary artery disease, yeah? So what is coronary artery disease? CHD, anybody? Coronary heart disease? That is the deposition of fat in arteries, generally speaking. So there's 3 levels of CHD. CHD level, that's one. Second thing is heart attack, third is strokes, okay? So CHD is a general term used to define the fatty tissues, fatty issues, fatty depositions in the arteries. Okay, so LDL below 2.6 is optimal for people at risk of heart. And above 4.9 is extremely high. So if you got HDL above, LDL above 4.9, red flag comes in, alarm bells ring, you have to see your doctor, because you have a good chance that you might get attack or even a stroke, quite a possibility. Okay. This associated with high blood pressure, definitely a red flag. Yeah. This associated with normal blood pressure, it's fine, it's bearable, but must be treated soon. Okay. These are all related substances. Okay, now what about HDL? HDL below 1 millimole is extremely poor. So you want to increase the HDL. HDL is high density cholesterol, like I explained to you, yeah? And the best one is 1.5 millimole per liter. And we can all achieve that, okay, with good diet. Triglycerides, like I told you about the fat in your blood, is to do the below 1.7 millimole, 1.7 is desirable, above 5.6 is very high. When I was reading this and trying to compare 1.7 and 5.6, it's a big gap, think about it. But then they were talking about borderline as to 1.7 to 2.2, okay? And then they jumped into 2.3 to 5.6 as being high. So it's not such a great gap as I thought. So 1.7 to 5.6, 5.6 is red flag, and you've got to be careful about it. Okay. And by the way, children and cholesterol testing is all children do get cholesterol. However, they normally burn it off. 9 to 11-year-old, you repeat every 5 years if they need to see that they've got high cholesterol. Okay. So this is basically it. Okay, any questions so far? Anybody who ask any questions? Yeah. Yeah. I understand, yeah. Sure. That's a good point. I will do that. Sure. Thank you for the suggestion. Actually, I only got back last night from New York, and I'm still jet lagged, but doesn't matter. So I've got this done at home. I've got a stick, but I could not bring it earlier. Sure, we'll do that. Thank you very much indeed. So there's 2 or 3 stories about those people who have taken statins and how their life has changed. So this guy is called David, and these are all true stories, by the way. He says that he got a wake-up call. David, 58-year-old with family history of heart disease, led an active lifestyle, but wasn't paying close attention to his diet. During a routine checkup, they found the LDL cholesterol were dangerously high. Despite being symptom-free, very important this, no symptoms, yeah. David's risk for heart attack was very high, yeah. And I can tell you the same. For me, I was completely symptom-free. I didn't have any symptoms, no high blood pressure, nothing like that. Suddenly one evening when I was working in my pharmacy, I got a pain here, you know, and I didn't think much of it. I had a cup of tea, got home, I had an inspection next day, I got on with it. I told my son, and my son, Papa, straight, you got to go to the hospital. Luckily with a fast channel, we went in there, angio, and guess what? I had triple bypass. No symptom at all, asymptomatic. This can happen to any one of us. So with high LDL, okay, and unchecked high blood pressure, you could collapse and get a stroke. And this is not a joke, it's very serious. Okay? So we have to be very careful. So this is David now. David credits the statins for giving him a wake-up call because he went to the doctors and his LDLs were so high, and his life has changed now, and his improved lifestyle prevented him from being a heart attack, and his cholesterol level are now healthy, and he continues to live an active life with regular checkups. A lady called Susan Story, 62-year-old, with her first heart attack at the age of 55. It's quite low for her, but normally what happens with ladies after the age of 40, you know, the estrogen in their bodies goes, which protects the heart, so there's a good chance that they can get cardiac disease, yeah? Normally you'll find the ladies will not get cardiac disease earlier than that unless there is history, etc., etc. However, after a certain age of menopause, etc., because they have lost the estrogen in the body, that protection of the heart goes, and they start to develop heart diseases, generally speaking. So, after an emergency surgery to place a stent in her body, this was Susan. Yeah, her doctor told her she needed statins. At first time, she was a bit iffy to take it or not. But with the doctor's guidance, she started the low dose statins. Over time, her LDL, this is a good one, dropped by 40%. It's amazing. If the cholesterol generally brings your if the statins bring your cholesterol down by at least about 50%, 40% of the LDL is an amazing recovery. So we should bear that in mind. Yeah, I can go on and on. There's Maria's story here. Then there is other people. All of them saw the cholesterol level going down. Yeah. This is genetic cholesterol, which some people get genetically cholesterol in their body, and that's very difficult to control. And the figures could be high, like Maria, a 45-year-old lady, discovered that she had a familial hypercholesterolemia, called FH, a genetic condition that causes extremely high cholesterol level. Despite being young and relatively healthy, her LDL levels were very high. Okay? So our doctor prescribed it. Maria saw a dramatic drop in the cholesterol level with the medication and lifestyle changes. Again, for Maria, she got a 50% reduction. So she got the maximum reduction in the LDL level. So overall, the bottom line is that statins have helped countless people lower their cholesterol, and more importantly, reduce the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular disease. Many people, whether they have a family history, have already experienced a cardiac event, or have high cholesterol from lifestyle choices, credit statins with giving them a second chance of preventing some serious health issues. So we here at as Khojas, we have to be very careful as we are duty bound with our family commitments, and really from the teachings of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam has already taught us to look after yourselves so that you can look after your family well. It's very important that we keep abreast of all this, get regular checkups, okay, improve our diets and lifestyle so that we are able to live longer healthily. It's pointless, if you reach my age and then I become a nuisance to my children, where they have to carry me everywhere because of this, that, the other, it becomes a little bit of a burden, okay? And we say, Mohtaji Allah ko na pe, which is exactly what we are saying. But all these things, if you are not careful in early age, okay, can bring up or precipitate that Mohtaji situation as we get older. Now, personally, I would not like anybody to hold my hand and take me there, but sometimes I've got no choice because I haven't looked after myself. My stomach is drooping here. I really need support. So this is a situation. And we are volunteers. Our children are so lovely. They will help you regardless. They will give up, they'll sacrifice their life for you because that's how we brought them up and that's how the Ahlul Bayt has taught us. But really and truly, it's duty. We are duty bound as parents and grandparents to better ourselves health-wise so that we are able to show them the example. So when they come in to their situations, they are healthy. So finally, final point, I don't want to bore you too much. What is it? Yeah. So, like I said in our Khoja community, we value health, family, and taking care of each other. Okay, many of us have higher risk of heart disease due to coronary effects, etc., lifestyle, so we have got to really look at it. Mr. Chairman, I won't take too much of your time, but just to let you know that managing cholesterol is a lifelong commitment. Taking cholesterol tablets, statins are lifelong. Okay, there's no choice. So until at least the age of 80, yeah? And remember, taking care of your health is not just for yourself, but for your families. Thank you again for your attention. If there are any questions, please. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. So, I, so remember the self-care talk I did initially, the first talk on self-care, followed by dementia and all that. Yeah. So what I've done is I've made some notes on that, yeah, and I'm making that a booklet as such on subject-wise, and also this was on my stick to bring it here today, but I could not go to my pharmacy today. I got back last night very late, so so inshallah I will do that. It's a good idea, and you'll have that sort of thing, and I'll probably give a link to our esteemed chair here, and then he can pass it on to the guys around. Islamic. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yeah. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to repeat the question? So that, please.
Just specify about the optical myasthenia gravis. You know what is optical myasthenia gravis? Optical myasthenia gravis is a very rare disease, right? And I never knew about it. And all I knew was this is not a genetic, what I believe, because my family would be having a heart problem. I took care of it. He knows me very well. And if you say diabetic, well, yes, but I took care of it. Suddenly, I was in US. I settled there. After a couple of years, the eyes was getting weak. I went to the doctor. And the blood says it's an optical myasthenia gravis. I said, what it is? And they say, well, this is something weakness in the brain, not in the eyes, but you will see double. Now, what I know is a two type of to see double. One you see up and down, and one you see on the side. Well, I was talking to Dr. Ansar. I don't know, some of you people from Tanzania would know who's Dr. Ansar. He told me I should do not worry much. Nothing doing. I cannot remember. Yeah, and all I was that a colleague or our community member I know from Dar es Salaam was told he had the same thing, optical myasthenia gravis, and suddenly he got into a stroke. And we have 3 hours to reverse it. And Bicharo, Tanzania, Bahati Mbaya, 3 hours passed. They told him to go to Sefi Hospital. It's 5 hours from Ibrahim Haji to Sefi. They said, sorry, we cannot reverse. So how much do you know about it if we can know much? And medication, the most important is there's something which there are two which I don't know, but steroid is every day. Which steroid raises your sugar, I have to be careful. So I walk a lot in Orlando.
What is your question, sir?
Now, what are the way to not to get a stroke? Do you know any precaution?
Yeah, it's a very rare disease. I don't know much about it, so I will not commit anything. However, statin will certainly help you for sure. But we have some esteemed doctors here as well. Maybe Dr. Nizar can elucidate something. Anybody else? You want to talk? Yeah, 1 second. Sorry. Nizar, do you want to? Yeah.
We have to go to the basics, yeah? What causes a stroke? If you can answer what causes a stroke, then you know how to prevent it, yeah? So,
The question is what a rare disease of the brain with eyes, right? You've got a problem. That's the one. And he's not talking about to prevent no stroke.
I'm talking about how to be careful not to get a stroke. It's part of the disease.
myasthenia gravis.
Yes. So, is there any by food or anything that I can take? I'm taking very light food in my life since I got this. So, is there any food precaution which I should always be within? What is the cholesterol level? Everything is good.
So,
You know, every 3 months in Atlanta, they. So, what are you worried about? How to prevent stroke?
let me try and answer that. So first of all, myasthenia gravis is quite a rare disease. We'll talk about it a little bit more over lunch, inshallah. It doesn't really affect the rest of the people. But strokes generally, Hassan is here, sorry, I didn't realize. I'm sure there are some other doctors here as well. Strokes generally have got risk factors, yes? So first of all, high blood pressure, a risk factor. Two ways it can cause a stroke. Either the high blood pressure can make a blood vessel rupture in the brain cells and damage the brain, or over a period of time, over years, high blood pressure can cause atheroma or narrowing of the artery, which finally, when it's occluded altogether, it will cause what we call cerebral infarct or death of the brain cells beyond where the flow doesn't occur of the blood. Yeah, so there are two ways. So high blood pressure, I think we have talked about this before, I'm sure at this forum I can remember well, it's very important to control your blood pressure. 25% of the people in this country, 25% have got high blood pressure. Only half of them know they've got high blood pressure because it's not written here. It's not written here, believe me. There's no symptoms of high blood pressure. Only by measuring it. And don't buy the cheap wrist one. You have to buy the stop me if I'm going over time. Okay, yeah, make sure you've got the arm cuff, and you measure your blood pressure. Blood pressure has to be less than 135 over 85, full stop, no ifs and buts. And if you're diabetic, it has to be less than 125 over 75 at home, no ifs and buts. Okay, and if your blood pressure is higher than that, and if you're not treating it, you are at risk of a stroke. Okay, so and then besides high blood pressure, high cholesterol, which I'm sure Kakaji has already talked about, diabetes is another risk factor, etc. Yes, statin, I agree 100%. Statin not only helps prevent lots of things, and it's a wonderful drug. I hope you I hope you did say it's a wonderful drug.
Thank you, Nizar. They told me not to give him the mic, but there we go. Sorry, what was the question? Thank you. I really appreciate your input. God bless you.
My GP wanted to increase my statin from 10 to 20, and I refused. And I said instead, I'll alter it by changing my diet, which I did, but I'm losing weight. So is it the right approach?
Why are you losing weight? Are you diabetic?
Family history is diabetic.
Are you diabetic?
I'm pre-diabetic.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, from 10 to 20 is not a big deal, change of your cholesterol tablets, statins. Okay, but what you have to do is, if you change any tablets, you must get a blood test done, so that it's pro rata whatever the statin result comes out, the cholesterol LDL result comes out, HDL result comes out. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. So what I'm saying is that increase or decrease of cholesterol statins has got to be done after the blood test. You should not want to do one thing. Let the doctor, you can say what you're doing, and if you're losing weight for any other reason, get yourself sussed out. Get an endoscopy done. They can do a colonoscopy as well, okay, to find out why you are losing weight and how much have you lost, do you think? Yeah. Yeah, so this is one thing. Normally, some diabetics do lose a lot of weight in a later life, but generally speaking, if for no reason you are losing weight, then obviously they suspect something, and you should get checked out. First of all, endoscopy to see whether there any bleeding in your stomach. Second thing is colonoscopy, which is a very common thing as well nowadays. They are using that to determine if there's anything wrong in that sort of an area. They'll be able to tell you, have you got polyps, things like that. All these things to be checked out. Okay, then they might refer you to go for a CT scan as well. Okay, and the last thing would be the MRI. And all these tests will show whether or not you got something on your gallbladder, on your pancreas, things like that. Am I right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, more. Exactly.
There are many other causes of weight loss, and everyone here is over the age of 65, 60. If you are losing weight, you have to go and see your GP.
Absolutely.
And take objective evidence. Weigh yourself at home. Say, this is what my weight was, and this is what my weight is now. Doctor, I think I lost weight. Here is the evidence. Can you do the investigations necessary to make sure I haven't got cancer? It's very important for you to go actively and tell your doctor, can you please rule out cancer? Don't tell him any test.
So I didn't want to use that word "see" to you, but that is something. It's extremely serious situation if you're losing weight, but it could be something other factors. Do you understand? Yeah. Anybody else? I know that time is pushing a bit. I appreciate Nizar's contribution. Thank you. Sir, anything else? Anybody else? Okay, so it remains me to thank the chairman and the seniors for listening to me patiently. I hope this has elucidated something, and I thank Dr. Merali for his input and anybody else. God bless you, and good luck with your new chairmanship. Huh?
Very kind,
No, no,
appreciate it.
Thank you very much
Thank you
indeed.
so much.
And we go around the Songya man here, you know.
Yeah, that's what I want to invite for a few minutes to
Oh, sure, yeah.
Jazakallah Kakaji for this very enlightening and very useful topic. Most of us in our later years tend to suffer from this cholesterol condition and the effects of cardiovascular, also like stroke, are very, very dangerous illnesses. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this condition. I also, we also have a visitor from Toronto, the ex-president Al-Hajj Al-Hajj Ali Raza Rajani, and he was also the president of Dar es Salaam Jamaat at a very young age, and we would like to request him to say a few words of his experiences. Originally from Songea and Lindi. Welcome, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I just came to check if my student Kakaji was doing, how did he fare, but I give him an AA. Brilliant. My brothers, Assalamu alaikum. A leader was asked, how much time do you need to prepare to give a speech? And he said, if it is 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes, I have to stay awake the whole night to prepare for the speech. But if you want me to give a speech of 1 hour, I can do it right now. I was told by him that, will you speak tomorrow? I said, I thought it was a courtesy. And today he calls me on, puts on the spot. My brothers and sisters, I have a lot to tell you. having served the biggest of our community, 2 Jamaats, Dar es Salaam and Toronto, as president for over 15 years, 9 years in Dar es Salaam and 6 years in Toronto, I have hundreds of stories to tell you. And I cannot compress it in the 2 or 3 minutes, and I don't want to bore you. So I will leave Dar es Salaam and Toronto Jamaat aside. It will be at some other time. But I heard one thing from my elders, that cholesterol increases if you are lonely. Cholesterol increases if you don't laugh enough. Cholesterol increases if your spirits are down. So I'm going to tell you 1 or 2 jokes, and that should reduce your cholesterol, and you can, it will be free of charge. My brothers, first of all, I went to from Dar es Salaam, I went to Toronto, and I stood for election shortly after that, when 95% of the people did not know me. But I had a history of Dar es Salaam, so I said, how do I catch them? I used the seniority complex. And I said, I told them a poem, a stanza from one of the Kavita. They say, Jhana poche Ravi. Ravi is the Suraj. Suraj, like Suraj reaches everywhere, the sun. The sunlight reaches everywhere. And there are places where the sunlight doesn't reach. He said, where the sunlight doesn't reach, Jhana poche Ravi, tyan poche Kavi. Kavi is a writer, is a poet. Poet can write anything. Poet can write about the darkest places of the world. So, Jhana poche Ravi, tyan poche Kavi. અને જ્યાં ન પહોંચે કવિ ત્યાં પહોંચે અનુભવી. Means senior people with all the anubhav will reach those places where even the sun does not reach, even the poet does not reach. My brothers and sisters, I don't want to bore you. As I promised you, I'll give you 2 jokes, small jokes, and then I will close. Here was a lady. At 6 o'clock in the evening, she calls the police station. Police, મને બહુ યાદી થાય છે. શું છે? મારા હસબન્ડ સવારથી ગયા છે 8 વાગે 9 વાગેથી. ક્યાં ગયા છે? બુચરીમાં ગયા છે. બુચરીમાં ગોશ લેવા ગયા હતા. હજી આવ્યા નથી, સાંજ થઈ ગઈ છે, મને વ્યાધિ થાય છે. તો પોલીસ કહે છે, તું વ્યાધિ શું કામ કરે છે? આજે તું રીંગણા બટેટાથી ચલાવી લે. There is another thing. For those people who are from the southern Tanzania, there used to be one town called Mtama. Mtama was a town 45 miles from Lindi, and Lindi was an urban city, a city type place for us. So people used to go from Songea to Lindi, and Mtama used to be a bustling village, town sort of for Lindis. A time came after independence, most of the people have left that place. So there was a big mosque which went into ruins, and there was not one Ishnashi there, so it was closed more or less. And it was believed that in that mosque, ama jinn રહે છે. આ મસ્જિદની અંદર jinn રહે છે, because it was biyaban, there was big trees, and it was at night it used to be very scary thing. So here was a guy, he come from Songyaથી ગયો લીંડી જાતો હતો, અને મટામાં પહોંચ્યો ને એન મગરીબનો ટાઈમ થયો. એ કહે કે મગરીબનો ટાઈમ થયો છે, હું નમાઝ પઢવા જાઉં. અને he went મસ્જિદમાં ગયો નમાઝ પઢવા. નોક કર્યો તો વોચમેન છે ને કંડીલી લઈને આવ્યો. કંડીલી was ફાનસ હતું. He came out with that કંડીલી. He opened the door. હા શું છે? તો કે હું નમાઝ પઢવા આવ્યો છું. ઓ વેલકમ. તો એને લઈ ગયો અંદર, વઝુ ખાનામાં વઝુ કર્યો, નમાઝ પઢ્યો, નમાઝ પઢી લીધો, નીકળે છે બારે. તો આ વોચમેન આવ્યો કંડીલી લઈને, એને કહે છે ક્યાં જાઉં છું? કે બસ હું જાઉં છું, હવે લીંડી જાઉં છું. તો કે તું જાય છે ને રસ્તા ખરાબ છે ને, ઇટ વિલ ટેક અ લોટ ઓફ ટાઈમ, તો હું તને થોડો ચાય નાસ્તો બનાવી દઉં. તો બિફોર યુ ગો, તો કે ના, હું તો આ તો ખાલી નમાઝનો ટાઈમ થઈ ગયો, તો એનો ટાઈમ હતો એટલે હું નમાઝ પર આવ્યો અહીંયા. બાકી મને કહેવામાં આવે છે કે આ મસ્જિદની અંદર જીન રહે છે. તો આ વોચમેન કહે છે, નહીં, સાવ વાત ખોટી છે. હું તો 600 વર્ષથી અહીંયા રહું છું, હું એક જીન જોયો નથી. بھائی السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.
Ahsant very much. Brother Ali Raza, it was such a interesting talk we had, and we would wish you the best, inshallah. And whenever we tend to get guests and visitors from abroad, it's always very interesting to hear from them. And quite rightly, as he mentioned, laughter is the best medicine. Alhamdulillah. May I now request Brother Rahman to recite a qasida for us, please. Thank you.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. نعرے تکبیر، نعرے تکبیر، نعرے رسالت، نعرے رسالت، نعرے حیدری. محمد وآل محمد صلوات. افضل السلام محمد وآل محمد. زمین میلی نہیں ہوتی، زمن میلا نہیں ہوتا. زمین میلی نہیں ہوتی، زمن میلا نہیں ہوتا. زمین میلی نہیں ہوتی، زمن میلا نہیں ہوتا. محمد کے غلاموں کا کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا. محمد کے غلاموں کا کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا. محبت کملی والے سے وہ جذبہ ہے سنو لوگوں. محبت کملی والے سے وہ جذبہ ہے سنو لوگوں. یہ جس من میں سما جائے وہ من میلا نہیں ہوتا. محمد کے غلاموں کا کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا. گلوں کو چوم لیتے ہیں سحر نم شب نمی قطرے. گلوں کو چوم لیتے ہیں سحر نم شب نمی قطرے. نبی کی نعت سن لے ہم چمن میلا نہیں ہوتا. نشاں ماتم کے ہو جس پر بدن میلا نہیں ہوتا نشاں ماتم کے ہوں جس پر بدن میلا نہیں ہوتا لکھی نہ دے علی گر ہوں کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا یا علی لکھی نہ دیں علی گر ہوں کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا میرے غازی کے پرچم کا جہاں سایہ بھی پڑ جائے میرے غازی کے پرچم کا جہاں سایہ بھی پڑ جائے قسم مولا کی وہ گھر کیا قسم مولا کی وہ گھر کیا صحن میلا نہیں ہوتا قسم مولا کی وہ گھر کیا صحن میلا نہیں ہوتا محمد کے غلاموں کا کفن میلا نہیں ہوتا صلوات صداقت ناز کرتی ہیں صداقت ایسی ہوتی ہے خدا خود ناز فرمائے شریعت ایسی ہوتی ہے امام جعفر صادق صداقت کا فلک ٹھہرے صلوات امام جعفر صادق صداقت کا فلک ٹھہرے لقب ہی پڑ گیا صادق صداقت ایسی ہوتی ہے خدا خود ناز فرمائے کہ خزانہ علم کا ہو دونوں ہاتھوں سے لٹاتے ہیں خزانہ علم کا ہو دونوں ہاتھوں سے لٹاتے ہیں سخی کہتے ہیں ہم اس کو سخاوت ایسی ہوتی ہے خدا خود ناز فرمائے ہے تارک ایک ولادت ایک ان کی اور محمد کی ہے تارک ایک ولادت ایک ان کی اور محمد کی نبوت میں इमामत में मोहब्बत ऐसी होती है, सदाकत नाज फरमाए। ज़रूरी है हवा जैसे बक़ाए ज़िंदगानी को, हमें अपने इमामों की ज़रूरत ऐसी होती है, सदाकत नाज करती है, इमामत ऐसी होती है, खुदा खुद नाज फरमाए। सलवात।
Ahsan, Jazakallah Rahman for that beautiful recitation. May Allah bless you. I have been asked to make these announcements again because of the people who actually arrived late. Number one, at the last seniors EC meeting, it was resolved unanimously to levy a charge of £1 for the use of the Jamaat cutlery each time. Guests and visitors are exempted. This is going to take effect from the 1st of November 2024. So please remember to bring your own cutlery every week. Ahsant. Secondly, we have an outing on Sunday, the 13th of October 2024. We are going to Peterborough, inshallah. For the Miladun Nabi program, invite the senior citizens of Europe at HIC Peterborough. I understand there will be about 350 guests from various Jamaats in Europe. The start time is about 11 a.m. for both ladies and gents. Please give your name at the desk if you wish to attend. The cost of transport is being still worked out, but we would estimate in the region of about 15 to 20 pounds. Thank you. May I now invite Al-Hajj Musaddiq Bhai to come and recite Surah Yasin for us, please. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشروا بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب عليم قالوا طائركم معكم وإن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون وأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني ظل في ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة وأحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعنب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملت أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى أدرك الأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشاء نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أحد إليكم يا بني آدم إلا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لتمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مزيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويهك القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وَظَلَّلْنَاهَا لَهُمْ فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُهُمْ وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ وَمَشَارِبُ أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ آلِهَةً لَعَلَّهُمْ يُنصَرُونَ لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Ahsant Ali Raza. I'm very pleased to say that today's sumptuous lunch niyaz is sponsored by Dr. Nizar Merali to follow the best practice by his parents in previous years. We are very grateful for this and so request Surah Al-Fatiha for Marhum Roshan Ali A. Merali and Marhuma Fatma by A.R. Merali and all Marhumeens. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and grant him tawfiq and barakah. Ameen. Surah Al-Mubarak Al-Fatiha. توجه زيارة.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله حسين الشهيد بأرض كربلاء، السلام عليك يا زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا الباقر، السلام عليك يا الصادق، السلام عليك يا باب الحوائج موسى بن جعفر، السلام عليك يا شمس شموس وانيس النفوس أيها المنفون بأرض توس، الرضا المجتبى مولانا ومولى الكونين السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء، وفقنا الله لزيارتك يا مولاه، ورزقنا الله شفاعتك في الدنيا والآخرة، والصلاة والسلام على آبائك الطاهرين وأبنائك المأسومين وعلى أختك فاطمة معصومة، السلام عليك يا علي النكي، السلام عليك يا الجواد التكي، السلام عليك يا عسكري، السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، عجل الله لك ما وعدك من النصر وزهور الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائي في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وكائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.